What's up, everybody? It's Kristen at Scrog and Travel. I have a full day in the middle of my traveling to be able to explore Disneyland, which I'm a huge, massive Disney fan. And honestly, I have grown to love Disneyland a little bit more. So I'm going to show you what I do over the day, 24 hours. I'll eventually cut these into a YouTube video, and you can get all that information on the YouTube Scrog and Travel channel. But I'm going to pop some shorts up as I go through the day because some of you are just nosy and you just want to know. So, favorite thing about Disneyland is that the two parks are literally across a mile street from one another. So you see you've got Disneyland on one side, and then you walk literally on the other side, and there's California Adventure. I am a huge fan of California Adventure, no doubt about it, but I decided today to go to Disneyland because I really want to ride the ride, and my kids would get really mad at me if I went to California Adventure without them. But this is one of the best parts. You go downtown Disney is this way, and then Disneyland is to your left, and California Adventure is to your right. And so I just feel like it's so much more accessible than Disney World is. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Disney World girl. I know everything about it, but there's something more intimate and calmer, honestly, about Disneyland. So hopefully I'll be able to show you. I'm going to kind of buzz you through today. I've got 24 hours in Disneyland, and I'm going to show you what I chose to do. All right, when you first come into Disneyland, one of the first things that I always stop and see is the Disneyland Fire Department. And the main reason why I always do this is that is where, if you can kind of turn it to the side there and see, that's where Walt's apartment was. And when they would come to Disneyland with him and his family, they would come and stay there and watch the people. He hosted special guests and people like that, but I just think that that's a really unique part of Disney history. So my first stop every time I come to Disneyland is always going to be to see Walt's apartment. Can't go in unless you're on a tour, which I've also done, which was also cool. Going to be absolutely horribly, disappointingly honest right now. The biggest problem with Disneyland is this, and that is the ultimate letdown when you see the castle. For those of you that are Disney World people, you know that this is a big moment. You turn the corner and you see Disney, the castle, and it's gorgeous and it's amazing, and it is very, very anticlimactic at Disneyland, which is part of why they made it so big at Disney World. Still cool, but doesn't have that awe factor. But the trolley's cool. So one of the things you have to remember about Disneyland is that it was designed first. They didn't think about the sheer volume of crowds. And so a lot of Disneyland is packed in really close together. And both Disneyland and Disney World, in my opinion, has this one big problem, and that is that there's one way to get in and one way to get out, and that turns into a big bottleneck when you go down Main Street. So when the park is really crowded, like it kind of is right now, it's not as bad as I've definitely seen a lot worse. And again, this applies to Disneyland or Disney World. One of the things you can always do is go through the Emporium. I don't know if you see over there the shops. If you walk through the shops, it's usually going to be significantly less crowded. So I'm going to show you a weird kind of shortcut. So here's one of the things that I love about Disneyland, and that is that I think they do so much better spending time, the characters spend more time with the kids. So I'll just give you a good example. Okay, so again, this is just to show you how Disney is so much better. She just chased down Tiana. Tiana did not freak out. Tiana did not yell. Nobody stopped her. Tiana literally stopped and went and spent time with this little girl. That's the difference between Disneyland and Disney World. They're just unparalleled. They're so much better. They spend so much more time with them here at Disneyland. So here's the truth. My husband and George and I do Disney very differently. It's up to George. He's going to do as many rides as he possibly can. We're going to be here at Park Open. We're going to beat this system, and we are going to maximize our time. Now, we both agree that there has to be a rest time in the middle of the day. Nobody's in argument about that. And when we plan your day, we always advocate for you doing a nap in the middle of the day. But I'm much more of a chill out, see things, walk around, watch people, stroll in and out. Like, I don't really care how many rides I do today. The only one I really even care about is the Lightning Lane that I've already booked. That will be for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, because I want to see the new overlay. Well, I guess it's not really an overlay, it's a whole redone ride. So I'm excited to see that. But like, other than that, I don't really care. And I feel like Disneyland lends itself to that. Lots of live music everywhere you go. It just feels like a more chill vibe in so many ways. You might have noticed that I am in a different shirt, and that is because I am about to go and ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure, where you're going to get wet. And so I have just learned to put another shirt on top of that. Some people do like ponchos and things like that, but I just try to put a shirt on and then I just take that one off, and it ends up absorbing the majority of water. So let's see if it works this time or not. Okay, this rule applies for Disney World and Disneyland. Doesn't matter where, but the rule is you always walk further. Anytime you are willing to walk further, the line will be shorter. Whether that's going to be for a ride, whether you go to the right or the left, whatever it is, if you're willing to do the walk, if you're willing to walk further, then you will wait in line for a less amount of time. Every single time. But I'm telling you, these lines do not look pretty. I've hit Saturday. Lots of locals are obviously out today, and it is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely perfect. So always walk further. All right, we'll meet the Matterhorn. This is one of the mountains that does not exist at Disney World. I like it okay. I feel like it's really herky-jerky. I'm kind of old now. I probably liked it a lot more when I would have been younger than now that I'm an old fogey. But it is, it's really beautiful. And it's right across from the submarine, which is, again, a very cool Disneyland item. If you've never been on the submarine, it's really, I think, very cute, and I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, there's two of the very unique ones here at Disneyland. Now to score some big points.
Where become Jackstown? Speak up, or do you fancy a swim with Davy Jones?
Tell him, Carlos, don't be cheating.
This is the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Is this haunted room actually stretching? Or is it your imagination?
So this is the first time that I've ever used the multi-lightning lane pass, and I bought it for $35 along with my ticket, and I have to say I think it was worth it. If you only have one day at Disneyland and you want to do multiple rides and you're not good at waiting in lines, which I'm definitely not, then I would say yeah, definitely do it. I mean, there were people that were waiting 60 minutes to do Pirates of the Caribbean, and I did it in 8. So, I just walked straight on to Big Thunder Mountain. I'm about to walk straight on to Haunted Mansion. Until it's the end of the day, I can't think of anything. But I would say it was worth it. Again, I'm not a good waiter. I'm not good at waiting in lines for long periods of time. And so I think it's totally worth $35 if you are going to be somebody who wants to do a decent amount of rides, but just doesn't want to do the obscene waits. So this is another thing that Disneyland has that is different than Disney World. At the end of Frontier, and sort of what we used to call like Liberty Square area, in Disneyland you dump into New Orleans Square. I personally love this area. I'm literally on my way to get a beignet because it's one of my favorite things. But it is super crazy crowded here always. And part of that is because Pirates of the Caribbean is right here. The line. A lot of you'll find a lot of lines at Disneyland are not inside buildings. They're all out in the public. Again, remember that Disney was fixing everything. When he did Disney World, he saw all the sort of mistakes and issues that happened at Disneyland and fixed a lot of those issues. The other thing is that here in Southern California, it's not nearly as rainy, or it hasn't been, so it's not been as bad. But you can see like this line, which looks like absolute chaos, is actually only 25 minutes. So I'm in line for churros, and you might not think that's a big deal, but if you have ever been to Disneyland, you know it is a huge deal. Churros are a big part. Popcorn is also a big part, and corn dogs are a big part of Disneyland. I suggest you try all three. There's also people who like the turkey leg, but that's something I think you can get just as easy in Disney World. The churros, for some reason, are better at Disneyland, and I'm getting one from my friend Whitney today. Some people might argue, but I think the best time at Disney World, Land, any of them, is at dusk. Right when the lights first start coming on and people start kind of leaving the park, and you're in the hub and there's lots going on and you can smell the food, and there's just something super magical about it. And that's my day at Disney. See you real soon.